and welcome. Today, it is my pleasure to introduce to the Lokvani audience Mr. Suman Ghosh, who is a national award-winning Indian filmmaker who has made 6 feature films and 1 documentary film. But in addition to being a great filmmaker, he's also a professor of economics at Florida Atlantic University. Sumanji, welcome to Lokvani. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaste.
What a pleasure it is to talk to somebody so amazing who has 2 very distinct career paths. One as a professor of economics, a very practical mindset there, and one as a very creative filmmaker. So how did this person trained in economics get to train in filmmaking, and what motivated you to do that? How did you get into that path?
So, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to the audience, North England, New England audience. And I sincerely hope that you all will come to watch my film, Searching for Happiness, which is playing this weekend at the Kaleidoscope Indian Film Festival in Boston. So, this was many years back when, as you know, in India, if you have a passion for films and, for middle class families, that is not quite taken in the right, spirit. And, fortunately or unfortunately, I was, doing very well in academics. And after graduation and my master's, I got into my PhD here in the US at Cornell University. I did my PhD. And while doing my PhD in economics, I had the opportunity actually to take courses in the films department at Cornell. And then I realized that, getting a real taste of the, of the profession of films, I realized that probably this is also attracting me equally, if not more, to my academic career as an economist. And so, I took my training at Cornell, and I wanted to at least do 1 film and not repent when I'm 70 years old that I didn't, pursue my passion, which I so much liked then. And I made my first film, and that was somehow it got a couple of national awards, which you mentioned just. And ever since, the journey has followed, and this was like 15 years back. So ever since 15 years has gone by, I've already there are 6 films that has released, and 2 are pending for release, and I've made 1 documentary also. So it has been flowing till then. So this is how I got into, and I still am a professor. I'm talking to you from my office as an economist.
Right. That's amazing that you're able to keep up these 2 very demanding, professions. I mean, being a professor, I know is a very, very, full-time thing. And then there it is that you have to take time out. So you probably work more than 24 hours a day. You find the time. So I know, and I guess this probably leads to Search for Happiness, right? That's what brought you to filmmaking.
Searching for Happiness. Yeah.
Yes, and so tell us more about this very interesting film, because it looks like there was not a real storyline, and it was just a very unusual concept that you developed. I would love to hear more about it. And that's the film that's playing at the Kaleidoscope Festival.
That's right.
Happening in Boston.
So this was actually, or this is a very special film for me, because the idea of the film came from my then 5-year-old daughter, Maya, who is now 7 years old, 8 years actually now. She's just for an 8 year. So this is 3 years back when, we were in my apartment in Miami, and she was playing. And and before that, I have never done anything tangentially also related to children's film. So I have 2 daughters, and they were quite bored that what film Papa does we can't understand, and we are not allowed to see that also. These are all films. Yeah. So and one fine morning, I saw that it was a weekend, and both Maya and Leela, my 2 daughters, they inflated a balloon, and they asked me and my wife to kiss the balloon, and they drew smileys on it. and we didn't know what is happening, but at least we were relieved that now they won't bother us. And so after a while, she went outside, and we live in a high-rise apartment, and she comes back, running into the apartment, and was looking outside the windows. So when I asked her that, what are you looking at, Maya? And she said that, I'm searching for happiness. So we were stunned. I was particularly stunned. What does that mean? It's such a strong, loaded philosophical statement of,
Oh.
I'm searching for happiness, which we all are in this world. But what can a 5-year-old girl mean when she says? So then, it intrigued me. I called her and said that, what did you mean by that? And she said that that balloon which she drew, the smiley, she named it as happiness, and
Oh.
left it and floated it in the air, thinking that it will come all the way from Miami to India to her grandparents and all, spread happiness all around the world. She thinks that the world is a very unhappy place. Currently, it will spread happiness and come back to her. And soon she realized that her happiness is gone after she floated the balloon. So what will happen to her happiness? And she was willing to go out of the house. Luckily we had her nanny there who protected her and didn't allow her to go. So in this film, I carry that journey of a 5-year-old. Actually, it was a 4-year-old girl who shot the film, who acted in the film. And I carried the journey, that innocent journey of a kid who is in search of happiness in the streets of Kolkata. So I shoot it in Kolkata, the entire thing.
Yeah.
And that is what the film is about, and her explorations of searching for happiness. And in her journey, she meets other people, and if you come to think of it, we all are searching for happinesses in our own way, right? So that was an avenue through which Maya's story was an avenue for me also to explore the concept of happiness in people from all walks of life, and that is what searching for happiness is all about. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds so amazing to just take an idea and make a movie out of it.
Yeah.
I saw that it's a hour-long film, but to
Yeah.
hold people's attention for that and use children. I saw a little bit of the trailer to use a
Right.
4-year-old and direct it. I'm sure it must have been a very interesting challenge and an opportunity.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's fantastic. So, what motivated you to participate in the Kaleidoscope Film Festival?
So, Kaleidoscope Film Festival, I have been before also. I think 3 or 4 years back, another of my film called P7 was screened there.
Okay.
If I am not mistaken, yeah, that was so. And of course, I know the organizer, main person, Chitron Yogi, quite well. And they are a film festival which is bringing extremely good. Their program is extremely good quality compared to a lot of other festivals,
Ah.
and hence that was always that for any filmmaker, whether in India or in North America, that's a very prized festival. And the attendance of course last year it didn't happen because of the pandemic, but it has gained in importance over the years. So so that was my introduction to Kaleidoscope. And so I'm really looking forward. I'm personally coming there to Boston also for the screening, for a
Oh,
question answer session post that. So I would be very happy to meet you guys there. Yeah.
wonderful. We look forward to that. And I particularly look forward to it after having spoken to you a little bit. The film itself was very, very
Yeah.
intriguing. So I know that you've done a lot of films. What would you consider was your favorite work? And how did you come about picking that? How do you go about picking stories, actually? I'm always curious that about filmmakers.
See, most of them are from real life observations, like Maya's story I told you, searching for happiness. But I would credit New York Times hugely,
Mhm.
because New York Times. So I read the New York Times regularly. I'm an avid fan of New York Times and New Yorker also, the magazine,
Mhm.
and I read about instances all over the world, and I try to give a fictional and my take on those. So I was recollecting with someone last month or so, that out of the 7 films or 8 films I have done, 3 were initially stories from New York Times or the New Yorker,
Oh,
which I then transported to India and of course made it my way.
Yeah.
So and one film which I did was a historical piece called Kadambari. It is based on Rabindranath Tagore's life. So that was a historical piece. So it's, it doesn't have a set pattern. It just happens, like,
Yeah.
what intrigues me or piques my interest. Yeah.
I saw one thing there, which is The Economist Meet the Filmmaker, which is argumentative Indian with Amartya Sen and
Yeah, yeah.
making his thing.
That was the documentary
Yeah,
on this.
documentary on that's just fantastic. So, question for you: there are many people who might be aspiring filmmakers and who have never trained in it, right? So, I mean, like yourself, become engineers or economists or whatever else. Their parents, encourage them to. Any suggestion for them as to how would they pursue such a career or such a passion?
See, I think there have been a lot of people who have actually. I'm sure you've heard of Nagesh Kukunur, who started this
Yes.
movement like 20 years back. He left his engineering job, went back and did. But there has been a lot of at least 1,000 Nagesh Kukunurs who didn't be Nagesh Kukunur.
Yeah.
So that's why I think. I think it's imperative to have some knowledge of filmmaking, whether you take film courses somewhere or whatever, and one should have the passion to. And remember, when you're saying that somebody is an engineer or whatever and taking this, jump into filmmaking, and not be scared of doing so, because it is a very risky path, and you might be on that 999 Nagesh Kukunurs who didn't be Nagesh Kukunur. But life is a journey. Even failure one should take in stride. But if you have the passion, I think it is important to at least follow it up. And as I told you in the very beginning, that later in life, one does not regret that I did not make any films, or not only films. Somebody wants to become a drama person or an actor or some other profession than what they are, or a writer.
Yeah.
So I think it is important to have no regrets in life at later, and that's a motto which I follow very strongly. Yeah.
Fantastic. So, in addition to seeing your films at the film festival, are there other places that these films are available for us to watch?
Now,
Um,
a lot of them are on Amazon in the US, and some are on, yeah. So most of them are on the platforms, either Z or Amazon. One was on Netflix, and yeah. So it's I think it's best is to do a Google search, and if they are interested, they can follow it up where they are available. Yeah.
right. And any recommendations of which ones you would like people to see?
See, my films are of varied categories, in the sense that some are, one is a historical piece. I told you about Kadambari. Some are family dramas. Some are weird experimental films like P7 and Shamal Uncle. And this is sort of a children's film, Searching for Happiness. So it's a wide variety. So it's very difficult for me to say. So depending on your taste, I provide a menu. Choose one.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Well, what an honor it is to have talked to you. And really, congratulations for having been able to take your passion, while I think twin passions, right? Economics would be
Yeah.
your passion, for you to have continued to be a faculty member in that, and then
Right.
also the other passion. So, God bless you for that. And
Thank
really a pleasure. And I look forward. Hopefully, our audience will be there too, and to look forward to asking you the questions directly in person. Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.